What's happening, party folks out in bike land? This is Pete with Backdraft Bikes coming at you with another review. Indian Scout, yes sir. Thanks for joining me again. Hey, I appreciate you supporting the channel. I do have some new merch in. If you want to wear one of these cool shirts and look spiffy while doing it and supporting a good cause, please check out the link in the description for our merchandise. Okay folks, we're doing an Indian Scout review today. This is the 2021 rendition, and this is the Scout Bobber. This is Indian's really legendary line that they have, the old retro styling versus new technology. Now, this bike doesn't have all the appointments that the other Indians have, but it has quite a few that are quite nice. This is powered by their V-twin liquid-cooled engine, as you can see, producing 100 horsepower, 72 foot-pounds of torque. The bike only weighs 533 pounds, so it's rather light and easy to maneuver. That being said, the price on this bike is actually quite attractive as well. On this bike, we have a price tag starting at around $11,000, and they go up from there, of course, with other options. This bike shown, I believe, is $12,999. What do we have for performance specs besides for the engine? You have a single-sided brake on the front, single brake on the back, of course, and really a quick shift gearbox. There are some performance updates you can do, stage kits as they call them, but this bike as it sits right now isn't that bad. It's a fast revving engine, and it's fairly stylish as well. Indian has used the same gauge on many of their bikes. It's an analog clock gauge with a multifunction LCD display area below that's going to give you your old alarm clock look. You're going to get your range estimates, a fuel gauge, a digital tachometer, and just a general information center for different riding modes. Of course, the forward controls here are the same that you always have on most motorcycles. You can see this bike has no options like cruise control or anything like that. This is just a stripped down, chopped up bobber ready to rock. I really like the bar end mirrors too. They add a nice touch to the bike, as well as the brown leather accenting this color scheme. I really do enjoy that. Side mount license plate with LED light as well, and of course it's a belt drive. Shall we see how it runs? Let's go. So this bike has a key switch as well. I don't know if Indian's just trying to do the historical feature situation, but I mean, come on people, it's 2021, let's do some fobs. To start it, we've got a traditional start button as well. And you can hear the V-twin. True to the firing order, sounds a little lumpy and a little raspy with these pipes. One thing I do have to say about Indian, they really do a good job with their performance exhaust sound. This is something I think other manufacturers could take some cues from as far as the way it looks and the way it sounds. Great. Gonna get stuck behind the stinking BMW lineup. So before I completely throttle this bad girl, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the size of it. It's a small bike, so I'm 6'4". It's a little bit small for me, for my liking. However, it does have that nice drivability feel to it because it's small. You can handle it, as some of my coworkers like to call it, fun size. The exhaust on this thing is delightful. So it's not setting the world on fire as far as power, but it pulls pretty strong and it sounds good doing it. far as handling goes, the small footprint of this bike makes it easy to move and maneuver. But I will tell you that it is not that exceptional on its handling ability. But you get, again, you have to understand what you're getting. You're not buying a sport bike. You're not buying a cruiser. You're buying a Scout. Something that's like a frontline piece. You're making it, you're getting it out there, you're exploring, you're having a good time doing it, you're looking good doing it, and that's what it's all about. I like it. The exhaust note on this bike is super awesome. I had the shield up there so you could kind of hear it, but I missed a shift because I don't know how to drive. Yeah, this bike reminds me a lot of the FTR that Indian is selling. It's a nice small profile on the bike. You're slightly hunched over the tank, sort of like you're working. And all in all, though, the profile for the torque and the power curve are right there. This bike doesn't mind revving up. For a V-twin, you know, sometimes you worry that the V-twin may not provide that level of upper throttle response that you would like. And this bike actually has no problem doing it. There's no qualms about it. The seat on this is rather comfortable, and I'm firmly planted. I don't feel like I'm sliding off or anything like that. Obviously, front forward pegs where your feet position are. The shifter, it'd be nice if it was extended just a little bit, but I have larger feet, so you know, perhaps for the size 9 US shoe, it might be a little bit easier to shift. Hence my missed shift that I had. I will say too that the low profile, you're down low to the ground, so obviously that helps you with your center of gravity. We've got a nice hill here with like about 160-degree corner. So we'll do second gear. So, I mean, you can feel it. It pulls up the hill pretty decent. And it's got like a pretty gnarly exhaust note. I like it. I like it very much. So what would you be buying a bike like this for? Throw it down in the comment sections. I'd love to hear. Are you searching for a cruiser? You're searching for a sport bike? What's your poison? I think this bike is a nice melody between having a sport bike and having a giganto cruiser. Again, very lightweight, 530 pounds dry, so I don't know, wet, maybe 550 maybe. Again, handling this chassis very easily with my large frame is rather pleasant. The bike is a little stiff on the bumps. I don't know if you hear it in my voice. It's a little stiff on the bumps, but again, this is a Scout. This is not a plush Dynaglide rolling couch, you know. The bike has to have a little stiff of the suspension for the sportiness. I noticed on the corners in the back of the track there, where we're allowed to open it up, I noticed the bike tried to do one of those lean out modes where it was pushing itself to the edge of the corners. So maybe with different tires on it, you would have a little bit better cornering ability. Oof. But this bike, as it sits right here, has a lower lean angle, maybe due to those tires. Again, these tires are more of the flat track racer, old school, squared off edges, and that might be part of the reason why I felt the tread squirm going through. Again, the suspension on this bike is pretty rough. This is definitely not a plush rider. It's got me kind of searching the road in front of me to make sure that I'm not going to hit a bump and wash out. If I was going around a corner, I'd be definitely nervous about that, almost like a sport bike. Maybe the suspension is adjustable. Doesn't look like it is though. Maybe there's some trick out there that allows it to be adjustable. Again, a very economical package too. If you're getting into motorcycle riding, this is a nice package. This bike, again, in black is 11 grand, and that's pretty decent to get a reliable motorcycle that sounds good and looks good. I mean, we're not buying a Honda Rebel, no offense, Honda. This is an American-made motorcycle. Yeah, and who can't love that note? I know this guy does. Very nice indeed. And 100 horsepower for a bike that's 530 pounds is not a bad power to weight ratio. So not bad at all. I think that if I was going to be buying one of these bikes, it would be something that I would use to rip around town, maybe run some errands on. I'm not sure I would want to take this on a very long trip, you know, going more than a couple hours, just because of the mainly of my size and the size of the bike. It's just a smaller bike, and the suspension's pretty harsh. So again, if you're on the highway with this bike, yeah, it'd probably work out all right. But as far as these back roads and stuff, you got to really look out for the bumps, because it's pretty gnarly. All right, I'm going to cut out for a second. I'll be right back with you when we get to the back of the track. All right, so we're in the back of the track here. Oddly enough, I scraped my ankle taking the corner in, just because, again, these pegs sit kind of low, and the bike doesn't really want to lean over. So we'll crack her open. We're going to give these guys in front of us a little bit of space, because BMW riders. All right, let's do a start stop and see what happens with this baby. Yeah, she's pretty fast for a little guy. She's pretty fast. The brakes are not as good as one would like, but again, you got to. It depends on what you're riding here, and that's what this is. It's a Scout. It's just a little putt-putt. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would I rate this bike? I would give this bike a 6. A 6. If it's what you're looking for, it's going to be a 10 in your book, because it is what it is. But the suspension harshness and the braking are kind of deal breakers in my opinion. What do you think? What do you think of this bike? Have you ridden one of these? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for everything, guys. I appreciate the subscribe button, and be safe out there, okay? Be safe.